You might be genuinely surprised to learn that some vegetables you believe to be healthy can actually undermine your well-being without you even realizing it. Regular consumption of the wrong types of vegetables can weaken the immune system, accelerate brain aging, and most concerning of all, damage your mobility, specifically the strength and stability of your legs. These conclusions are supported by dozens of studies published in the Journal of Gerontology based on years of observation involving tens of thousands of older adults. At first glance, common vegetables may seem completely harmless. However, behind this apparent safety can lie serious consequences: inflammatory responses, damage to small blood vessels in the lower limbs, impaired coordination, and even difficulties with walking. All of this leads directly to falls, which are known to be one of the main causes of fatal injuries in people over 65 years old. But there is also good news. In this video, you will receive a clear and simple guide on which 3 vegetables must be included in your daily diet in order to maintain your health, mental clarity, and physical mobility. And you will also learn which 3 vegetables you must avoid at all costs to preserve your stability and prevent premature aging. It is especially important to watch until the end. A shocking revelation awaits you. One widely consumed vegetable, often thought to be healthy, may actually be silently destroying the health of your legs. And you likely have no idea just how dangerous it truly is. This video is going to be incredibly informative and helpful. If you want to take control of your health like a pro, give it a like, and let's get started. 1. Broccoli. A natural defense against aging after the age of 60. You might not have realized it, but broccoli is not just a vegetable that shows up on your plate from time to time. It is a powerful tool for extending your lifespan and maintaining the health of your legs, joints, blood vessels, and even cognitive functions at a time when the body begins to lose its former resilience. You may have heard of the compound called sulforaphane. This substance is found in large quantities in broccoli and is already recognized as one of the most powerful natural activators of the body's internal defense mechanisms. According to a study conducted in 2023 by the Nutrition and Aging Center at Tufts University, older adults who regularly consumed broccoli showed a 32% lower level of chronic inflammation biomarkers compared to individuals in the same age group who did not include this vegetable in their diet. Why is this important? Chronic inflammation is one of the key drivers of accelerated aging. It damages joints, weakens the heart, impairs brain function, and most importantly, leads to reduced mobility and muscle strength. That means even a simple walk can become a challenge. Now imagine that a single vegetable has the ability to slow this process down. Sulforaphane helps the body eliminate toxins, repair damaged cells, and activate protective proteins. A study published in 2022 in the American Journal of Clinical Nutrition showed that older men and women who included between 1 and 1.5 cups of broccoli in their daily diet improved their vascular function by 18% in just 6 weeks, especially in the lower limbs. But broccoli is not just about sulforaphane. It is also rich in vitamin K, a key nutrient for bone health. According to data from the National Institute of Arthritis and Musculoskeletal and Skin Diseases, NIAMS, women over the age of 65 lose up to 1.5% of bone density per year. A deficiency in vitamin K and calcium can speed up this loss. However, a serving of steamed broccoli provides up to 220 micrograms of vitamin K, which is more than 100% of the daily requirement for older women and men. In addition, broccoli contains natural antioxidants that protect blood vessels from calcification. Vascular calcification is one of the most dangerous and often unnoticed age-related changes. It disrupts circulation, increases blood pressure, and places extra strain on the heart. In 2021, the National Institute on Aging, NIA, confirmed that older adults whose diets were rich in vegetables containing antioxidants, including broccoli, had a 27% lower risk of vascular insufficiency. When it comes to leg health, broccoli is especially important. Improved blood flow to the legs, particularly in older individuals with type 2 diabetes, reduces the risk of numbness, pain, and even amputation. A study conducted by the University of Illinois and published in 2023 found that regular broccoli consumption improved blood supply to the capillaries of the feet and toes by 19% in people over 60 years old, showing signs of diabetic angiopathy. But all of this works only if the broccoli is prepared correctly. The best method is steaming it for between 2 and 4 minutes at a temperature of approximately 90 degrees Celsius, 194 degrees Fahrenheit. This cooking method helps preserve sulforaphane and most of the vitamins. If you boil or stew broccoli for more than 7 minutes, the level of active compounds drops sharply. It becomes soft and loses nearly everything that makes it beneficial. Therefore, try to keep it bright green and slightly crisp. For an older adult, a plate of broccoli is more than just a side dish. It is an investment in bone stability, vascular strength, mental clarity, and muscular power. It is your way of saying to your body every day, I am with you, I will support you. And yet, broccoli is only the beginning. There is another green food, modest and underrated, that not only supports the heart and brain, but may also help preserve the strength of your legs. What is this leafy green, and how does it help you keep moving forward with each passing year? We will discuss that in the next section. 2. Spinach, a hidden driver of strength, memory, and healthy circulation after the age of 60. You might think that spinach is just a harmless green sitting on your plate, a simple garnish for the main dish. But in reality, it can be the very thing that strengthens your mobility, improves your memory, and even slows down many age-related processes that we often believe are unavoidable. As we age, the body gradually loses its ability to maintain active blood flow, especially to the muscles, brain, and extremities. This often shows up as a feeling of heaviness in the legs, reduced endurance, fatigue, and also declining memory and concentration. But spinach can quietly and steadily intervene in this process. It is rich in natural nitrates. In the body, these compounds are converted into nitric oxide, a molecule that dilates blood vessels, improves arterial elasticity, and helps blood flow more easily and efficiently. A study conducted in 2021 by the Medical College of Georgia at Augusta University found that older adults who consumed dishes with spinach or beets daily experienced a 21% improvement in peripheral circulation within just 4 weeks. What does that mean in practical terms? More energy in your legs, fewer cramps and spasms, easier stair climbing, and most importantly, a more stable gait and a reduced risk of losing balance, which is known to be one of the leading causes of serious injuries in older adults. But spinach does not only benefit the body, it actively supports mental clarity as well. Spinach contains lutein, a powerful antioxidant capable of penetrating the brain and protecting nerve tissues. In a 2022 joint study by the National Institute on Aging and Tufts University, researchers found that older adults with higher levels of lutein in their blood processed information 25% faster than those who consumed little to none. And that is not all. Spinach also acts as a shield for your eyes. It contains both zeaxanthin and lutein in concentrations that are essential for protecting the macula, the central part of the retina. When the sensitivity of the macula declines, it becomes difficult to read, recognize faces, or navigate your surroundings. A study conducted by the University of Illinois in 2023 found that eating at least 60 grams of fresh spinach every day for 2 months reduced the risk of age-related macular degeneration by 29%. We also should not overlook the presence of folate, a B group vitamin that plays a role in transmitting signals between neurons and in the synthesis of dopamine, the neurotransmitter responsible for mood and motivation. In older adults, a deficiency of folate is directly linked to memory decline. That is why spinach became one of the key components of the MIND diet, developed at the University of Chicago to prevent age-related cognitive decline. But there is an important detail to keep in mind: the method of preparation. The healthiest forms of spinach are either fresh in salads, quickly sautéed in a pan without prolonged stewing, or added to smoothies with fruit and water. When spinach is cooked for a long time, for example, boiled or stewed for more than 7 minutes, a significant portion of its lutein and folate content is destroyed. The best option is gentle heat treatment for no more than 2 to 3 minutes on low heat, up to a temperature of 80 degrees Celsius, 176 degrees Fahrenheit. In this way, spinach is not just a green side dish. It is an ally for your circulation, a source of leg strength, a supporter of memory, and a true protector of vision. And all of this is found in just a handful of greens each day. It does not require effort, expensive supplements, or complicated recipes. It only takes a mindful choice at the store and in your kitchen. Next, we will take a look at another vegetable that might seem ordinary at first glance. It is bright, juicy, and often used in salads. But few people know that it can help you maintain balance, improve coordination, and even sharpen your reaction time. What is this root vegetable, and why should you eat it at least once a week? That is what we will explore in the next section. 3. Carrots, a quiet protector of vision, balance, and vitality after the age of 60. In life, the most modest things often turn out to be the most powerful. The same goes for carrots. This familiar vegetable from childhood is not just a crunchy snack. It is a daily investment in your stability, vision, mobility, and mental clarity, especially after the age of 65. Let us begin with the most important aspect, your vision. Because vision means safety. It is the ability to see the step beneath your feet, recognize a loved one's face, read a label on a medication package, or simply enjoy a sunset. Unfortunately, as we age, our eyesight often begins to fade, but carrots can help preserve its sharpness. Carrots are rich in beta-carotene, a compound that the body converts into vitamin A. The National Eye Institute of the United States confirmed in its 2022 study that older adults with sufficient levels of vitamin A had a 28% lower risk of developing age-related macular degeneration compared to those with a deficiency of this nutrient. This condition is one of the leading causes of vision decline after the age of 65. Just one medium carrot contains approximately 835 micrograms of beta-carotene, which covers nearly 93% of the daily requirement for vitamin A in older adults. But the benefits of carrots do not stop at vision. They also support your vestibular system and movement coordination. Carrots contain antioxidants that protect nerve endings from age-related oxidative damage, and it is the nervous system that ensures fast communication between the brain and the legs. A study published in 2023 by the University of Colorado in Boulder showed that participants over the age of 70 who ate carrots at least 3 times a week scored 19% higher in balance tests than those who avoided them. Carrots also improve metabolic health. One medium carrot contains about 2.8 grams of fiber. Fiber helps reduce blood sugar levels, control appetite, and support healthy bowel function. But what is especially important for older adults is that carrot fiber helps stabilize cholesterol. A 2022 study conducted by Iowa State University found that regular consumption of carrots lowered total blood cholesterol levels by 11% in just 8 weeks. Lowering cholesterol is not only a way to prevent atherosclerosis, but also a method of improving blood flow to the legs, brain, and heart. And that means helping to prevent weakness, numbness, and coordination problems. The better your blood circulates, the more active and energetic you feel. To get the most benefit, carrots are best eaten raw or lightly steamed at a temperature not exceeding 85 degrees Celsius, 185 degrees Fahrenheit. Excessive heat destroys up to 40% of the beta-carotene and vitamin C. That is why shredded carrots in a salad, sliced into sticks for a snack, or added to a morning smoothie are not just tasty. They are an investment in your balance, vision, and energy. For older adults, it is especially important to include at least 1 or 2 carrots in the daily diet. They can be part of dinner, a garnish for soup, or an ingredient in a fresh salad. The key is consistency, because it is these simple daily habits that form a strong defense against age-related changes. And yet, while carrots strengthen the body and senses, not all vegetables in your kitchen act as gently and supportively. Some of them, despite their popularity, can silently weaken your legs, impair circulation, and undermine your balance. Which vegetables are harmful for the aging body, and why are they dangerous? That is what we will explore in the next section. Now, let us look at 3 vegetables that older adults should never consume. 1. Eggplant, a hidden threat to mobility and comfort after the age of 60. At first glance, eggplant may seem harmless and even healthy. It is often featured in recipes for balanced eating with its attractive purple color and tender texture. But when it comes to well-being after the age of 65, especially the health of your legs, joints, and overall physical comfort, this vegetable may not be the trusted companion it is often believed to be. The issue lies in the fact that eggplant contains solanine, a naturally occurring chemical compound produced by plants in the nightshade family, which includes potatoes and tomatoes, as a defense against pests. In small amounts, it is not considered dangerous. However, in older adults with a body that is already less resilient, solanine can act as a trigger for chronic inflammation, especially in the joints and soft tissues. According to a study published in 2022 in the Journal of Inflammation Research and conducted by Arizona State University, older adults with osteoarthritis who consumed nightshade vegetables at least 4 times per week had levels of inflammatory markers in the blood that were 21% higher than those who excluded these foods from their diets. Individuals with existing joint conditions, including arthritis, gout, and neuralgia, were particularly sensitive to these reactions. Inflammation does not always present as sharp pain. It can show up as stiffness in the knees, heaviness in the calves, or weakness in the feet, which becomes noticeable when climbing stairs or walking through a store. If ignored, these symptoms slowly erode confidence in movement, leading to an unsteady gait and restricted mobility. And the ability to walk, stand up unaided, and maintain balance is the very foundation of independence in older age. Moreover, solanine does not only affect the joints. A 2023 study conducted by the University of Georgia found that even after cooking, eggplant retains about 60% of its original solanine content. This means that frying, baking, or stewing does not fully eliminate it. And when consumed regularly, the cumulative effect becomes especially significant for people over 65 years old. In addition to promoting inflammation, solanine can irritate the gastrointestinal tract and lead to a decline in muscle tone, which is especially dangerous for the legs. When muscles become sluggish and less responsive, it directly impacts balance. This can lead to older adults avoiding long walks and eventually even fearing to stand up without support. Unfortunately, this is often how a decline in physical activity begins, quietly and unnoticed. It is important to understand that not every older person will experience an immediate worsening from just one meal that includes eggplant. However, after the age of 65, the body becomes less capable of resisting small but regular irritants. While many vegetables help strengthen tissue, repair blood vessels, and support brain function, eggplant can act as a hidden saboteur, particularly in individuals who already have low-grade inflammation. From an emotional perspective, losing mobility is not just a matter of physical discomfort. It often leads to feelings of vulnerability, dependency, and limitation. When joint pain or the fear of falling prevents someone from taking a walk, meeting friends, or even going to the store, overall quality of life declines. And all of this could stem from a vegetable that seemed completely innocent. If you are used to eating eggplant, it might be time to reconsider that habit. Especially if you are already noticing minor leg pain, stiffness, or fatigue after walking. Of course, there are people who tolerate solanine without issue, but statistics show that 3 out of 10 older adults with arthritis or musculoskeletal disorders experience a worsening of their condition within just 3 to 5 days of regular consumption of nightshades, according to the United States National Institute for Rheumatic Aging. There are many alternatives. Zucchini, cauliflower, broccoli, and pumpkin do not contain solanine and actually help strengthen joints, reduce inflammation, and support the health of your legs and blood vessels. Swapping one vegetable for another is a small change that can make a big difference in your quality of life. Still, eggplant is only one of several deceptive foods. There are others, bright, appealing, and popular, that can quietly drain your strength. Some of them affect the brain, others target the circulatory system, and some directly weaken the muscles in your legs. Do you want to know which ones might be hiding in your kitchen and which to eliminate in order to preserve your energy and balance for as long as possible? Move on to the next section. There is plenty there that may surprise you. 2. Green bell pepper, a hidden spark of inflammation that undermines leg and vascular health after the age of 60. As we age, every dietary decision we make becomes increasingly significant. The body no longer forgives carelessness, and the consequences of seemingly harmless foods may not appear immediately, but instead over months or even years. One such food is the green bell pepper. Bright, crunchy, and familiar since childhood, it is often viewed as a symbol of healthy eating. Yet, paradoxically, it may not be the ally it appears to be, especially for the aging body. The concern is not only that green bell peppers belong to the nightshade family. Their more notable characteristic lies in their lectin content, special proteins that serve a protective function in plants. In the human body, particularly as it ages, these proteins can bind to the cells lining the intestinal wall, disrupting its barrier function and interfering with the absorption of important nutrients. According to a 2022 study conducted by the Laboratory of Aging and Immune Function at Tufts University, individuals over the age of 65 who were sensitive to lectins had twice the level of inflammatory cytokines in their blood compared to those who eliminated nightshade vegetables, including green bell peppers, from their diets. What does this mean in practice? It often starts with small changes. Your legs may begin to feel weak or heavy. Getting out of bed becomes more difficult and your gait may seem slightly less stable. There may be a tingling sensation in your toes or a feeling that your shoes are tighter. These signs are not just getting older. They could be the result of chronic low-grade inflammation that reduces the sensitivity of nerve endings, impairs blood flow, and weakens muscular response. The legs are usually the first to suffer. The Center for the Study of Falls in Older Adults at the University of North Carolina reported in 2023 that among people over 65, low-level inflammation caused by dietary lectins increased the risk of balance disorders and falls by 34%, especially in those who consume green bell peppers and other nightshades daily. Here lies another unfair twist. Unlike red, yellow, and orange bell peppers, which are fully ripened, green bell peppers contain only about half the antioxidants. For example, according to the United States National Institute of Nutrition and Aging, red bell peppers contain up to 127 milligrams of vitamin C per 100 grams, whereas green ones contain only about 63 milligrams. In other words, you get less benefit and more potential harm. It is true that heat treatment partially destroys lectins, but even after roasting or stewing at temperatures above 100 degrees Celsius, 212 degrees Fahrenheit, around 40% of the lectins remain active. This is especially true for undercooked or lightly sautéed vegetables, commonly found in salads or omelets. It is important to understand that not everyone will feel the negative effects from a single dish with green bell pepper. However, if you are already living with arthritis, digestive issues, circulatory problems, or diabetes, your body is more vulnerable to even mild dietary irritants. And for an older body that needs to conserve every ounce of energy, stability, and strength, this food may become the very factor that gradually undermines health from within. The solution may seem simple. Replace green bell peppers with their fully ripened counterparts, red, yellow, or orange peppers. These are not only milder in flavor, but also richer in antioxidants, lutein, and carotenoids that protect vision and support the circulatory system. Or consider cutting out nightshade vegetables entirely for a couple of weeks and observing any changes. Many people report improved well-being in just 10 to 14 days. Choosing what not to eat can sometimes be even more important than choosing what to eat, especially when it comes to preserving your ability to walk without fear, stand with stability, maintain sharp reflexes, and live an active life. Unfortunately, green bell pepper too often hides behind a mask of healthy, while its true impact may be the opposite. But this is not the end of the story. The next vegetable is even more deceptive. Familiar, simple, and often part of the daily menu, it may silently interfere with heart function, blood vessels, and leg tone, even if it appears completely harmless on the outside. Ready to learn the truth about it? Then let us move on to the next section. 3. White potatoes, a comfort food that quietly weakens strength and stability after the age of 60. Potatoes, that soft, hearty, familiar taste from childhood. Mashed with gravy at a family dinner, fried on a Sunday, or baked in foil, these are more than just meals. They are memories of home, comfort, and care. And that is exactly why the truth about them sounds so unexpected, especially for those who have passed the age of 60. The issue is that white potatoes, despite seeming harmless, pose a real threat to those whose strength, balance, and vascular health become increasingly fragile with age. It is not that they are poisonous or dangerous in themselves. White potatoes are starchy foods with a very high glycemic index, meaning that after eating them, blood sugar levels spike almost as rapidly as they do after consuming sugar or white bread. A 2023 study by the Harvard School of Public Health found that older adults who regularly ate white potatoes had a 38% higher likelihood of experiencing blood glucose spikes compared to those who replaced them with slower carbohydrates like sweet potatoes or whole grains. At first glance, this may not seem alarming, but when these spikes occur regularly, they trigger microinflammation in the blood vessels, especially those that supply the legs, brain, and heart. And in older adults, whose capillaries are already narrower and vascular elasticity reduced, this leads to a buildup of issues: leg cramps, cold feet, numb toes, and even a loss of balance. The University of Colorado published a 2022 study showing that elderly patients with a high intake of potato-based meals performed 22% worse in balance and coordination tests than those who preferred vegetables rich in fiber and antioxidants. But that is not all. Foods with a high glycemic index, such as white potatoes, over time contribute to the development of arteriosclerosis, a condition in which the walls of the blood vessels become stiff and lose their flexibility. This impairs blood flow to the legs and brain, leading to chronic fatigue and slower reaction times. These are all direct risk factors for falls and a loss of independence. Now add to that the way potatoes are typically prepared, cooked with butter, cream, cheese, and salt in popular mashed or baked versions. All of this puts a heavy strain on the heart. In 2023, the American College of Cardiology confirmed that potatoes combined with saturated fats increase the risk of lipid profile disorders in older adults by 31%, even among those with a normal body weight. And as if that were not enough, white potatoes contain very few protective nutrients. Unlike carrots, beets, or even pumpkin, they offer little in the way of antioxidants, and yet it is antioxidants that defend our cells against oxidative stress, a major driver of tissue aging, weakened immunity, and declining muscle strength. So every time an older adult puts white potatoes on their plate, they are making a choice not for strength, but for weakness. This is particularly concerning for those already living with high blood pressure, diabetes, numbness in the legs, or cardiovascular problems. What can be done? Giving up potatoes does not mean giving up comfort and flavor. It is simply a step toward wiser choices. They can be replaced with sweet potatoes, which are rich in beta-carotene and fiber, or with boiled cauliflower, mashed celery root, pumpkin, or parsnips. These alternatives nourish not just the stomach, but also the blood vessels, nerves, brain, and muscles. Choosing foods that support steady energy, flexible blood vessels, and stable steps, that is self-care in its truest sense. Because it is the strength of your legs, clarity of mind, and confidence in your movements that determine how free, full, and active your life will be after the age of 65. As for white potatoes, they can remain a warm memory. But in the present, you have the power to make a choice that works for you, not against you. If you have something to share or any questions, feel free to leave a comment. Next, I recommend checking out these videos, and don't forget to leave your likes and comments. I'm looking forward to them.